How does corruption worsen global inequality and development? Imagine a world where a few people hold most of the wealth and power, while many struggle just to get by. That's often the result of corruption fueling inequality and slowing down progress. When corruption takes hold, it becomes a barrier that keeps the rich richer and the poor stuck in poverty. It creates a cycle that makes it harder for societies to grow and for everyone to have a fair shot. Corruption and inequality feed into each other in a way that keeps societies stuck. Wealthy individuals are more likely to engage in bribery and fraud because they have more to protect and more opportunities to do so. As inequality grows, the poor become more vulnerable to extortion and less able to hold those in power accountable. This normalizes corruption, making it a regular part of how things work in many countries. When officials take bribes or misuse funds, they divert resources away from programs that help the less fortunate. Instead of investing in education, healthcare, or social services, money gets funneled into private pockets or used for projects that benefit elites. This means fewer opportunities for the poor to improve their lives and less social mobility overall. It also widens the gap between the rich and the poor, making it even harder for disadvantaged groups to catch up. Corruption also damages trust among citizens. When people see that the system favors the wealthy and that rules are bent for the powerful, they lose faith in institutions. This erosion of trust makes it easier for corruption to spread because people believe rules don't matter or aren't enforced fairly. As corruption becomes more accepted, social norms shift, and unethical behavior becomes seen as normal. Citizens stop seeing corruption as a problem and start accepting it as part of everyday life. The justice system suffers greatly from corruption. When courts are corrupt, the wealthy can buy favorable outcomes, while the poor are left without legal protection. This creates a justice gap that keeps inequality alive. Governments also get distorted because officials prioritize their own interests or those of connected elites over the needs of the general population. Public resources are misused, and policies favor those with influence rather than the broader society. Corruption also stunts economic development. When money meant for infrastructure, education, or healthcare is siphoned off, it limits growth and progress. Instead of building roads or schools that benefit everyone, resources go into private hands or corrupt projects. This keeps countries in cycles of underdevelopment and poverty, making it harder for them to catch up with more stable, transparent economies. Different countries show how these patterns play out. In highly unequal societies like South Africa, corruption is widespread and deeply rooted, partly because of historical inequalities and ongoing political issues. In the United States, rising inequality over the past few decades has led to more influence for special interests and a decline in trust in government. When wealth concentrates, those with money can influence policies and weaken checks on corruption, making it harder to create fair systems. From a sociological view, corruption is a sign that the social contract is breaking down. It reinforces social hierarchies where some groups can bend rules without consequences, while others face strict enforcement. This keeps inequality in place and makes it difficult for disadvantaged groups to challenge unfair systems. When corruption is common, social divisions deepen, trust erodes, and collective efforts for change become much harder. To reduce global inequality, tackling corruption must be a priority. Stronger institutions, fair laws, and transparent governance are key. Without addressing corruption, efforts to improve social and economic equality will struggle to succeed. It's clear that development depends not just on economic growth but on building systems that are fair, accountable, and open to all.